What you Nooklings? Now, I have been opening mystery boxes for a little while, and I just thought it's about time I actually started customizing some of my duplicates, and I wanted to start with Georgie. Let's try that again. Georgie. Yeah, I just had this really cool idea for him, so let's head on over to the desk and see what we can make. So let's get into this Fimo air dry clay. Now, you have already seen me use this in Mary's video, but this is the first time I used it. Not just because of the editing issues, but by the time I finished Georgie, I realised it was getting quite close to Christmas, and I just put off posting his video because there was something else that I wanted to get up before him as well. So that was the other reason why we're sort of out of sequence for that. But what I wanted to do with him was, there's this prompt in I thought it was in Create This Book 1, but when I actually went through my book, it's not there, so it's got to be in 2 or 3. And just something I've seen, obviously, others work on, but it is Create a Scent. And what I'm actually planning on doing is creating a character based on a pre-existing scent, and it's my favourite when it comes to candles and things of that nature, and it is apple cinnamon. Sometimes it is apple strudel, there might be some other variations. I've got one at the minute that I think is apple and maybe spice berries. I can't remember without looking at it, and it's behind me on the other side of the room near enough, so I'm not gonna look. So yeah, I just thought of this idea of putting Georgie in an apple, and adding some cinnamon sticks to his head, but obviously not keeping him as Georgie, sort of my own character. And yeah, it was a good idea. Not necessarily the best way of executing it. I think it would have worked better as a drawing, but you know what? I still had a lot of fun doing this, and yeah, this clay's interesting. The texture is quite nice, I find, compared to Das clay, but obviously if you've seen my Mary video, that's the meerkat I customised recently. He, you know, I know why it cracks and things like that, as I mentioned, so yeah, I will get that. Also, the Fimo's got a bit of an odd smell to it, not sure what that's all about, but you know, it works well. It did the job, and I managed for this one to cover up all the cracks, and yeah, I think we got away with that. However, the apple, I was struggling with the apple, to be fair. I wanted to keep like Georgie's feet poking out and everything, but yeah, that kind of doesn't work. I want to keep his feet, keep his tail and his wings, but because of that, obviously I couldn't get it as round as I wanted to, but I didn't want to lose too many of the original features for this project. Oh, this is where I am making the cinnamon stick, which was a really bad idea because I hadn't finished filling out the apple yet, but hey ho, lesson learned. They won't stay there, but I will reattach them later. Yeah, just the apple kind of ended up looking more like an inner tube kind of thing. Yeah, it was not the best, so I did end up bulking out. I covered up his feet and things like that, and just to try and help it look a bit rounder, and I still didn't get it quite right. I think part of that is down to the fact that I don't know, I think I must have hit the tripod at that point, so I apologise for the wobble. But yeah, I did kind of get a bit bored with the smoothing. That's one of my downsides. I do that often with projects, like the first few steps, like smoothing with clay, or you know, base coating something. I will, let's say, get fed up with it and jump to the colouring stage because that's the most exciting part, but that can be disastrous, or at least make things more complicated than they should be. Certainly for the project I'm about halfway through doing, well actually no, I've nearly finished now, as of today. I gave up with the base coat, and yeah, I'll talk about that bit more in that video when we get there. But yeah, I'm trying to not do that so much and actually put the time and effort in to help make, you know, so things look the way I want them to look and not just, that's good enough. Though, you know, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just, hey ho. But yeah, he did take quite a bit of smoothing. And I did try and keep him, as you see, I keep putting him down on the mat as to make sure he can still stand up on his own. Sorry, I thought Jay had come up at that point. No, hearing things. Not sure that's a good thing. Anyway, yeah, I could have worked a bit more on this. Maybe if I'd actually covered Georgie's wings and sort of redone them like I do with the tail in a bit. Oh, I've already covered the tail, but I give him a new tail. It might have helped keep things a bit more even, because it's kind of a lumpy apple, but you know, nature's not always perfect, so why should art be? Finally on to gessoing. Now, one thing I did discover with Georgie's vinyl that he's made with, it did repel the gesso, so I probably should have sanded him, but I didn't, and probably took quite a few more coats than he should have done because of that. But you know, I've learnt that for next time, because I've got another Georgie to customise, and I've got several others that need customising. We'll get to that in another video, I think. Yeah, so better planning, I think, is what needs to be done. But finally on to the painting and the really fun bit. Starting with the red, which I did put a tiny bit of reddish brown in just to darken it a little bit, because the red initially I felt was too bright. I could have done a green apple, but I prefer red over green as a colour in general. You know, I don't mind green, I don't have an issue with green, especially not when nature's involved, but you know, I just generally speaking I prefer red. Yeah, so then it was on to painting the cinnamon sticks, and which was tricky because obviously you can see I left the leaves there. I could technically have possibly turned the leaves into the cinnamon sticks to make it a bit easier on myself, but you know, I wanted the leaf, or the leaves I should say, still there to represent the apple, and the cinnamon, because you know, cinnamon does come from trees, I think. Trees or bushes. Anyway, Georgie's base coat does change a couple of times throughout this process, as to the colour of the leaves actually, because I still sometimes have difficulty getting the colour that I can picture in my mind mixed to, you know, the colour I want. It can be tricky. I'm getting better at it slowly, but I did think this was quite a nice colour, but it wasn't quite dark enough, and I wanted it a bit more golden too. Just thought that might be a bit better. Now, I do apologise for the lighting with this video. I don't know what was going on, because you'll see a few times, you can see, like there, he just suddenly flashes yellow, and that's the colour that I am painting him. I don't know if it's to do with the new light I was using, or if it's just the daylight coming in through the window. I have no idea what was going on, but I was trying, and that's the main thing. But I think it's time I stop waffling, and I'll just let you guys enjoy the rest of the painting process.
inside, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. I'm in a race that everybody's chasing fast. They wanna be that someone on the screen at last. They ain't looking inside for their needs in life. They wanna be liked by everybody in sight. But trust me, being free ain't spotlights. No, it's long nights and it's long fights with yourself all the time to get your mind right. But if you put in the work, you can find the light, alright? I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in.
So here he is, all done. This is Cinnamon, and yeah, I'm really happy with how he turned out in the end. Okay, the apple's not perfectly round, but you know, it still works. And yeah, I think it would, if I'd have drawn him, it would have been a lot, obviously I could have made it a lot rounder, but yeah, really happy with the overall look of him. And I've actually got a second Georgie that we can compare him to, and I just love, you can still tell that the base is Georgie, but at the same time it's still a different character, and I really love that. He will be hanging out with Mary on the desk. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay uniquely you, and I'll catch you Nooklings next time.